Live?
We're live. Hello and welcome to this episode of Catching Up with Shelbi and Rhett. I'm Rhett Hubbard, your general manager. And then your screen, that's Shelbi Berg. Say hello, Miss Shelbi.
Hello.
Shelbi, what's your title now? It's like the longest title in the world.
Director of Banquets, Events, and Catering.
Do we want to add anything to that?
I'm okay right now.
No, not right now. Just leave it with that.
We'll leave it right now.
Okay. And then also joining us is our construction project manager, John Orlandi. John, if you'll wave to the crowd. Thank you, John. Then our land development project manager, Mr. Charlie Keene. Charlie, there he is. And then our VP of sales, Gabe Schmid. Gabe, are you there? All right. I'd like to thank these three men for joining us. They are the development arm of Robeson Ranch, Texas, and they're gracious enough to join me once a year in Shelby to kind of answer any of the questions that you all might have. I'd like to thank you all for the pre-submitted questions that you already did. And if you'd like to ask questions while we're conducting this meeting, feel free to use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. Or if you want to join us all live, you can raise your hand. We'll select you and you can join us live and ask whatever question you'd like. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started with our questions. We'll go one for the development gallery down there. With all the road construction planned around the ranch in the next several years, getting onto Robeson Ranch Road will be difficult and dangerous for many of our residents. While I understand there is no short-term plans to complete Ed Robeson Crossing, would you consider opening Robeson Crossing to Florence Road to avoid the entrance to Michelle and avoid Robeson Ranch Road? It would allow a safe egress from here without needing the expense of a full build out of a roadway. I think it's a good compromise. What say you, gentlemen?
Mr. Keene, you want this or you want me?
You can, go ahead.
So we understand the concern. We've dealt with this for many years. We're cognizant of how when we're building in a unit, it's a lot in that unit at the time. The answer was in the question, unfortunately, which is probably not what they wanted to hear. There's no short-term plan for doing that. As we finish a unit and we open up more thoroughfares, that takes traffic away from your area. As we continue to build north, those access points off of Florence, which is the future Robeson Crossing, that'll help alleviate. But short term, that road is not there, so it'll continue as is for the time.
When do you think that gate will be open and operational for the community? If you could throw something out and stick it on a wall.
3 to 6 years plus.
3 to 6 years plus. All right, awesome.
Florence.
Thank you.
All right. Is there going to be another set of clubhouse, restaurant, gym buildings in the new east side of Robeson development? Salesman said there would be when we bought a lot, but we haven't heard or seen plans for this or a timeline. Do you have more info?
So in regards to that, we certainly are going to build another amenities complex. What buildings that includes, we're not sure of yet. There's not a metric that we use based on homes right now as our amenities are built for additions. For those of you who were here back in the day when we just had the Cimarron and we didn't have the Pinnacle, we outgrew the Cimarron, so we added 9,500 square feet of fitness area in the Pinnacle. We've added 2 amenities over time versus building another set. Building another set, we're certainly going to do, but until Charlie gets development, utilities and services up there, we're not going to go put it out in the middle of the pasture with nothing to get to and no homes around it. So that's a product of, as we continue to build north, it'll start to encompass that and we'll start building. But there's no metric for time of when that's going to be at this point.
Thanks, Gabe. I get this question a lot, and I kind of just pass it off to you all this time. Cell tower, Robeson Ranch. It's safety concern when cell reception is bad and you can't make a call. If there are no plans for a cell tower, my question are what are the challenges for a cell tower? I know one is finding a property to put a cell tower on, and one thing that I know is Verizon had a lease kind of near our pump station on Ed Robeson Boulevard for a while. They decided to forego that and not build a tower there, but I'll let you guys take it from here.
I believe it was Verizon that I met with 2 years ago. They did a study for the north end of the property. It ended up not being the location that they felt was best in their interest and to spend their money on for the infrastructure. We don't have monthly meetings with them as far as coverage goes. It's probably not the best answer, but most of the homeowners I've talked to, if they're in an area that has less cell phone reception, is that they put the cell boosters inside their house. So for right now, there's no quick answer to if we have a cell tower coming.
Shelby, you got some questions for me or you?
Yes, let's see here. Would you address the changes to the senior staff at the grill?
Yeah, for sure. That's not an issue. Yeah, we are currently searching for a food and beverage director and an executive chef. The job search is out for the food and beverage director right now. I've interviewed 2 qualified candidates. I have a second interview with a gentleman on Friday. After that, I'll believe that I, along with the board of Ropes and Ranch, will be making a decision on what direction we'll go with food and beverage director. For executive chef, we have 2 very qualified chefs currently on staff. Our chef de cuisine is Genevieve Zimmerman. She works at the grill and oversees that operation. Then we have our banquet chef, Patrick Sullivan. Right now, we're hopeful that one of those individuals might become our future executive chef, and then we'll fill whichever role that they alleviate for when they take that promotion. But we're still kind of in that searching period. We do have quality tenured managers with Lauren and her team at the grill, Shelby overseeing a lot of the banquet operation, along with Ariel Clay, our assistant banquet manager. So we're confident in the leadership we have. We know we need a good leader to lead that department forward, and we are excited about the future. So that's kind of where we're at with grill leadership and food and beverage leadership, for that matter.
Mhm. All right, and we do have another one on what happened to the street light on the west side of Orangewood at Ropes and Ranch Road.
Well, CoServe installed the wrong one. So simply, they installed one that didn't match the other one that existed on one side of the road. So we need them to match. So CoServe's getting those. They're installed on CoServe's dime, removed on CoServe's dime. So they'll get that, and they'll get that matched at the same height as the current one at Orangewood, and also at Michelle.
All right, and back to you, gentlemen. Has Ropes and Ranch considered adding a type of housing for single or newly single persons who don't want to take care of a house, but also don't want to leave all their friends, clubs, church, neighborhood groups they've developed while living at the ranch? Perhaps a 1-bedroom suite, library or study, smaller kitchen, laundry, or living area with car or cart garage, several homes placed. So some privacy, but also a shared outdoor with grill area and seating, entertainment, and plantings. These could be attached or semi-attached, easy come and go, no maintenance inside or out, but all upscale upgrades. Their previous homes can be sold or traded for even more downsize without leaving behind all you enjoy at Ropeson, but now without needing to be your home's executive operating manager.
Do you want to read the rest of it, or you want to? You don't have to.
We can go 2-part. I'll read the rest of it.
Okay, the second
Sounded
part,
out of
there
breath,
it is.
so. Maybe an extra shared rentable guest bed with bath in case of a guest. Maybe the grill could offer delivered meals, ordering each morning or week for a limited menu or the regular menu, but delivered on 2 different time slots. Lots of planning may need to be involved to explore this. I think lots are sad to believe that Ropeson simply because they have lost a spouse and find maintaining a beautiful, well-kept home too daunting without paying for the supervising for so many different vendors. Maybe it can be Ropes and Ranch and beyond for still active 55s, not a nursing home. Wonder if anything like this can be considered. So many of our friends, when they become single and don't want to live the life of supervising contractors, just want to remain in the community they have built during their retirement years. Not sure if it can be spread throughout the ranch or if all in one things or two areas. Just thoughts on how to retain your clients as their needs change. So much more expensive to get a new client than retain one. I have lots of ideas that might help make this a possibility, might be able to incorporate this style of independent living in Robeson communities. This would be an all-in-one rental or purchase or both. Thanks for listening. Maybe a survey to ranchers think it might work here.
I would say the closest we've come to that would be the villa product that we built in Unit 47 off of Michelle Way, which is down by the dog park and community garden. The company has talked about many different ways of doing this, which is why we have the Renaissance in Arizona, but that's more of your nursing home facility. We've never come to a consensus on a product similar to what's being described in here. That's more on the independent living side, which we've never really went after. So I would say the closest we have ever come are the villas. And again, with our PD with the city, any more attached buildings within the community are not easy for us to obtain.
Got a couple of questions about the waterfall at the main entrance, if we have an update on that.
Yeah, for sure. So the waterfall at the main entrance is something that failed over time. The waterfall is about 25 years old. The expense to probably build it back correctly is about $500,000. So what we're looking at is additional options. The option we're leaning to right now in a combination effort between your local board and the opinions of Robeson Ranch corporate would be to demolish the waterfall and replace it with a landscape bed. So I've received a bid to demolish the waterfall, need to move a lake fill, and then I'm waiting on a landscape architect to complete the drawings for that. Once the drawings are complete for that, that will be sent to our corporate office for approvals from company leadership. If leadership agrees that this is the direction we'll go, then we'll take the next steps to begin demolishing the waterfall and turning it into a landscape bed. It's kind of joining those two side beds with one nice, beautiful bed. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I really don't have a timeline. Many eyes need to see it. Many voices need to be heard. It is a large expense to totally replace it or build it back. It is less of an expense, but still looking between $80,000 to $120,000 to demo, then add that landscape bed in. So all options are on the table right now. Currently, we don't have a timeline, but when this big of dollar figures are at hand, you just kind of slow and prodding is kind of how we're approaching this job.
Would it be possible to install a water fountain in the pond off drink water? This would serve a couple purposes. The water movement will keep water from being stale and avoid mosquitoes, also to provide more oxygen to any fish in the pond.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a possibility. That would be a capital request that you could submit and turn into the HOA office for review in July when we're going through the budget process. Right now, there's no plans to add a fountain to that pond. It's important to know this is one of those ponds that's been on our property at Robeson Ranch for many, many years, even farther beyond when Ed Robeson and the Robeson family owned the property. So that pond has always had fish in it. Healthy fish and things of that nature. So we would definitely consider, based on monies and funds available, to add that pond, to add a fountain to that pond. But that would just be something to consider during a capital request.
Right, and does anyone have an explanation for the rumbling we've been hearing and at times feeling across the property and beyond over the past few weeks? It's also been posted about on Nextdoor with several crazy theories on what it is.
I've heard of development fellows.
I haven't heard anything about that either.
Yeah, I hadn't heard anything either.
There is a compression, I don't know where this individual lives, but there is a compression station from another gas company off Florence. Sometimes people hear some noises from that, but that's the first that's been brought to my attention.
Okay. Several trucks travel back and forth, kicking lots of dust. Homes backed up to the dirt road cannot sit on the patio and enjoy the backyard. Also, lots of dust is entering the vents, which is causing health issues. When can we expect relief from the dust?
If whoever submitted this question wants to email Charlie or myself, he's land development. Every time we develop native pasture land into lots, there's going to be dust intrusion that happens. Charlie and his team try to keep the dust to a minimum. They also moisture condition and water pathways whenever they're going into a unit. If there's something specific that we can help with, just email us separately. This is a pretty generic question because we're developing a lot of spaces across the property. So I just encourage them to reach out to Charlie or myself, and if there's anything we can do to help alleviate other than being done with development, which I can assure you Charlie and his team want to be done as quickly as possible to get you back your normal way of life. We'll try to do whatever we can for that.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm gonna try to use a raise hand feature. I got Gary wants to join us. I'm gonna allow Gary to talk. Hey Gary, if you'll just unmute yourself, you're joining Catching Up with Rhett and Shelby. We got Gabe and Charlie and John on the line. Go right ahead.
Thank you, Rhett. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Back to your changing out the waterfall to some other kind of architectural arrangement. Will the bridge stay there, or would the bridge become a flat road?
Yeah, the bridge will always stay. The bridge pond will always be there. There's no plans to do that. It's just that waterfall to the right that will be the only thing considered with the changing and adjusting. The
Oh, so
bridge,
the
we
pond
do
would-
engineering studies on the bridge every so often, and the bridge is functioning as it should and is in good stable condition.
So the pond would remain.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I didn't understand that. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll just have to adjust. There's a lake fill that the waterfall served as a function to help that lake stay full. And so we'll just have to move that lake fill on down, just dig up the pipe, add to it, and get it to the lake to help that lake stay full through during our summer months. Thanks, Gary.
Right. And when will there be more development beginning east of the ballpark?
That's our commercial area up front. To date, there are no plans for anything to go on up there. That's in the holding period. Over time, there have been talks of amenities, turning it into a number of different things, but at this time, there are no set plans on what that is. Still set for commercial development, but we don't know what that is for us right
now. My wife and I went to the driving range yesterday and couldn't find a spot to hit. It was full of kids in a camp and off-campus hitters. Do outside users of the driving range pay more for range balls than residents?
Yes, they do. It's important to know too, as a part of our golf operation, our driving range is a profit center that generates monies for the HOA to do that. So we want to continue to, I know it's busy. Yesterday was busy all over the place. It's like people had been cooped up for 3 weeks with terrible weather. We were extremely busy at the grill all day yesterday and on the golf course and on the range. So some days it will be busy, and I apologize for that. But non-residents do pay more for their balls, and we'll continue to look at price increases for those individuals, but wanting to continue to keep that driving range a profit center for Ropes and Ranch Denton HOA.
Referencing the budget meeting that was held on February 12th, what happens to the money that's budgeted but ended up not being used? For example, the mailboxes, can that money be used for other non-budgeted items that we possibly use?
Really, all that money that's not used goes to your prior year surplus. So that surplus is a surplus that the HOA maintains in order to, either we had a surplus that helped fund a reserve that we committed $2 million of prior year's surplus to the reserve that goes in there. And then any other prior year surplus helps fund us if there's something catastrophic that happens within our community that those funds would be needed. So while as the year goes on, there's some unbudgeted items that we end up purchasing. Those all go through board approval processes, and we don't take spending money on unbudgeted things lightly because we want to run kind of tight to our budget. Of course, there's things that break or fail prior to their useful life that we predicted, and we take those things into account. But any other off-budget projects and things like that, we're resistant to taking monies and spending them for unbudgeted things. But we are sure to call out any unbudgeted items that we purchase in any board meeting that you have for anything that have, whether that's a capital, a new item that we spent money for, or in reserve, which would be something that we didn't plan to fail in a given calendar year, and we'll list that out. So you'll be able to see all of those items as we go through the year and have those board meetings.
All right, I have a question for Gabe. Just curious, what's been the most expensive golf cart lot sold of as today?
In between 350 and 375, because I'm not at my computer.
350,000.
Give myself a little margin of error.
It's quite a large amount of money.
All right, I've noticed the water pressure does not seem very strong from my faucets. With all of the planned development, is Denton considering a way to address this?
I would need to know the specific location. I know that we had issues over on Iron Bark, Mica, Enchanted Rock, and I know that the city has been working diligently on trying to increase the pressure there. And so I couldn't speak to a specific location without knowing it. But for right now in that area in Unit 27, I know that they are investigating opportunities to make the water pressure greater.
Awesome, thank you, John.
Mm-hmm.
I got another question real quick on the pond over on Drinkwater. It's talking about, is there plans according to the HOA tank on Drinkwater and the one in front of the cells, they both need restocking? Are the ones we are allowed to fish? According to the fish club here at Ropes and Ranch, they stock bass in the tank in front of the sales office, and the one behind the north that's no longer fishable because it's landlocked. And since we're not allowed to fish that one anymore, my question is, are there plans to stock the tank on Drinkwater with bass or move ones from Grosbeak? The alleging that there's only perch and catfish in that pond in Unit 27 and 20. I think Craig Pullen, our golf pro, would say that there's bass in there. He's caught bass in that pond up there before. Is that what you think, Gabe?
There are large bass. Tried a different lure.
Right now we have no plans to restock those ponds, but I'm not against restocking ponds with bass and things like that. So they are meant for fishing. It is catch and release, and so you can have a good time in there. So we can kind of discuss that and assess that, and then maybe I'll have Craig go throw his lure in the pond over there, Unit 20, 27, see if he can pull a bass or two out. So
Have him go test it out.
that's right.
There are a lot of bass in that pond, I promise you that.
I've got quite a few questions asking about update and timeline on the restroom by the dog park. Yeah, it says from construction of the restroom between South 9 and North 1.
Well, that's South 9 and North 1. That's for Charlie. Charlie, you got any timeline on South 9? I mean, it's really not Charlie, but we'll call Charlie. Scott Sides is in here, so we can't talk to him. But Charlie, what do you think?
Our commercial division is actually building the structure. I do have bids that have come in this week for landscape and irrigation repair all the way. That's about 900 foot of the new sidewalk we had to put in. If I had to guess on the restroom, I would probably say 4 months probably. And I would think they could be finished then. I mean, that's them building it, so that's just kind of a guess. But as far as irrigation coming down the road, The sidewalk will still be closed where the construction entrance is for a while, but we will have everything landscaped all the way down the road, hopefully within a month.
Thank you, Charlie. Got a reminder request here on my questions. Just to clean up after your animals, there's an individual down near the dog park on Michelle Way. There seems to be a large amount of our furry friends' bathroom spoils over there. So if you'll just clean up after your dog, keep a clean community, keep it looking nice. So just a reminder.
Right, back to the front entryway, with the waterfall, if it'll be replaced, can a fountain be added to the pond?
There's thoughts of adding a fountain to the pond. It's just all about money and what funds are available for that. So, but there has been discussions with our director of agronomy, even Gabe and Charlie when they're out with me, potentially adding a fountain to that front entry pond.
Right. Recent Denton County articles regarding home sales through February year to date are down 22%. How do new home sales compare for the same period here at Robeson?
January was very strong. We opened up unit 28-2 that Charlie finished for us. We opened that on July 4th for sale, or sorry, January 4th for sales. We sold 13 in January. Budgeted, I had us for 7, so we were 6 ahead on that month. And February, we're at about pace for the month. So contrary to that report, we are not down 22%. We're actually a little ahead so far this year to date.
That's great, Gabe. We have a person with a raised hand. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can let Daniel. Daniel, you're with us. I saw that you had a raised hand. You're welcome to join Shelby and me and the gentleman.
Okay. I assume you could hear me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Couple questions. We're new to Texas and Robeson Ranch, about 6 months here.
Welcome.
Oh, thank you. And what I was curious about, your email said that you're going to be scalping the lawns at the common area.
Correct.
And one of our landscapers approached us to have that done on our lawn, and I'm not familiar with that process. So why is there any advantage to scalping the common area or lawns on our property?
The scalping helps induce growth in the Bermuda grass. That's the type of grass that we have in our lawns here. So what it does is get the sun down kind of below the canopy to encourage a healthy lawn when it comes out here in the spring. Most yards with Bermuda, you'll go ahead and you'll scalp those more times than not. When you do your home lawn, they're going to bag that and take it away. This lets me kind of segue into a comment that I had earlier. Why do we don't bag our areas? It's just not feasible for us to bag 250 acres worth of grass and short grass in Bermuda. So while it is kind of a nuisance, it's a short nuisance to kind of blow that grass and get that thatch off the ground. So just not feasible for us to bag it, but generally they would bag that for the health of the Bermuda grass tree yard.
And the same thing, I noticed that recently, about last month, the common area was sprayed with like a blue-green liquid. What was the purpose of that?
Yeah, that's a pre-emerge. They had a pre-emerge to prevent spring weeds from coming out. The reason it's blue is because we're treating large amounts of golf course. And so we just want to know where we've been. So that's just a simple dye that's added to that pre-emerge. So we're not double treating areas. So we're making good use of that chemical that we're applying.
Okay. So we own lot 73, which is right next to the grading that's going right now on Drinkwater. In fact, it's on both sides of our property, the side and the rear. Is it possible that we could meet with Charlie Keene to get a better idea what's going to happen grading wise and landscaping wise?
Yes, that is definitely a possibility. I do lunch with these 3 gentlemen that are joining us every Monday. So Mondays are a good day for us to kind of stop by your house Monday afternoons in between like 12:30 and 2. So if you want, you can email me, rhett.hubbard@robeson.com, and I can coordinate that meeting for you.
Great. And then the last question is, what are the sales plans for that new property that's being graded right now
Behind us.
in that area, which is basically Drinkwater Drive north and east of Ed Robson Boulevard?
All things being perfect, we hope to be paving by July or August in there. If things went better, possibly sooner, but July or August probably for paving, sales roughly around then, and then hopefully John and his team can start the vertical side September, October, and beyond.
Okay. So that's going to
Home lots in there,
probably
Dave?
be the next phase of construction in this project.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, and welcome to the ranch. Thanks for joining us on here, and just shoot me that email, and I'll help coordinate that meeting for you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Alrighty, so going back to, so this question was about the Ropes Ranch crossing that was answered, but what about a construction entrance? Michelle Way and Ed Robeson Boulevard handle a lot of heavy trucks. These are damaging our road that the HOA then has to pay for repairs, and all the trucks are a nuisance to residents, but the big issue is street damage.
And I want to, right here, I'll let Gabe answer the construction answers, but it's really a misconception that heavy traffic are doing damage to roads. We don't really see a lot of damage on Ed Robeson Boulevard, Michelle Way are two major thoroughfares that come through our community. We do see settling along utility trenches a lot in our community. That happens over time, and over time, 20-year-old streets, concrete does crack over time. So I will also say, if we notice that a street is failing prematurely, development had always been gracious enough to pay for those jobs, and there are 2-year warranties on streets. So we're always on the lookout for that.
To follow up with Brett just was talking to, Brett and his team in conversation with land development, our land development team at corporate, started implementing full panel replacement for streets. This predates Rhett, but they're used to do little patches on the roads. And all that did is create an access point for more water that infiltrated underneath the streets, and then it ruins your subbase, which takes away your compaction, creates a larger failure. So whenever you see Rhett organizing, they're taking out a full panel and you only see a crack on part of it, it's to do preventative maintenance, and in the long run is much more beneficial to the overall life or longevity of the roads themselves. The idea of a construction entrance. Let's say that we take that and we take, this is all imaginative, but we finish Robeson Crossing and we take it all the way out to Florence. Instead of having all those vehicles come in on different avenues into the community, they're going to be coming in on one road, and there will be homes on that road whenever we do it, which would be unit 30. So that unit would get 100% of the traffic as it comes in on that road. Then it gets to American, where we've had quite a few complaints over time of too much construction traffic. Everything comes out, and it's kind of like a river going out to tributaries. It's going to be thick traffic at the beginning and start to fan out. When they come in through the 3 main entrances, they can come in through one of those 3 gates and go to where they need to go. If we go to a construction entrance, for say over on Florence, they're all coming in at one point, and they all have to go by, call it 200 homes every day, every piece of equipment to get to where they need to go. And maybe they don't even go that far north. So there's just no great way to do it. There's going to be an impact. There's going to be noise. There's going to be traffic with it. But if we push it and funnel it all to one road, it'll make some happy, but we're going to make a lot of others very unhappy because they're going to get the brunt of the storm on it.
Brad, if I could add to that too, the Robeson spends an astronomical amount of money on engineering on these roads, and engineering and design. They take all the construction traffic into consideration when we build these. So they're built for the traffic that's on it.
Thanks, Charlie.
Will we be able to see a map of how the houses and streets will be situated across the area 26 off Drinkwater?
Okay, we
Yes.
have a rendering.
Sure.
When do you think you'll have a rendering for Unit 40 that people could see?
Say April, May, somewhere around there. I'll have the marketing graphic by then.
Awesome. Thanks, Gabe. If you want
This
to share
year-
that with me, I'll feel free to share that with the community if you think that's appropriate. All right, I want to talk about construction area. This is something that is a hot button topic for Charlie and me because it serves as a danger to the HOA and the residents who use these areas. Any areas that are not paved, and Charlie's done a great job of marking those with big orange barricades, says construction entrance, do not enter. Those areas are off limits to the HOA. They're actually not owned by the HOA yet. We don't own, manage, or maintain those areas. And they do pose as a danger because there could be heavy construction equipment and other things back there. So if you would please refrain from using those areas, what would be like future Robeson Crossing or Ed Robeson Extended, those areas are off limits for your safety and the safety of our entire community. So please just refrain from walking your dogs back there and riding your mountain bikes back in those areas as well. Just be safe and follow the signage.
Right. What are plans for traffic at the main entrance? Are we getting a spotlight? It's getting more dangerous getting out now.
So I believe we're getting a stoplight. This is a great announcement for tomorrow. Diane Edmondson is coming at 6 p.m. to have her county roads and development report with us. She'll have, last time she came out, she brought a few mayors out, a few developers that are developing the North Lake Crossing across the street. So if you're looking for when will stuff in North Lake Crossing be open, what's the timeline for stoplight and any other kind of road repairs throughout the community, Diane and her team will be here tomorrow. This meeting was extremely popular. We have seating for 450. So if you want to get in, come very early, but guess what? If you can't make it or you don't want to fight the crowd, you can watch it on our YouTube channel, Robeson Ranch, Texas. So you'll go to YouTube, you can search Robeson Ranch, Texas. It'll be like a purple R will pop up. And you'll click on subscribe, and then you'll come to that, and you'll see all of our library of board meetings and other county road reports that we've done over the past probably 8 months since we've started this process. And you'll be able to also watch the live stream, and then you'll be able to watch the recording of this meeting that we're having tomorrow. So a lot of the questions regarding what's coming up, grocery stores, all this, those are going to kind of be answered hopefully tomorrow with timelines and kind of can help you out. So tomorrow, 6 o'clock here in the clubhouse, 450 seating. If you want to get a spot, come early.
All right. Going back to that water pressure question, what inlet water pressure should we see at our home? Example, where our pressure regulators, what are our pressure regulators set at a time of closing?
That's a good question. The pressure is going to fluctuate constantly. And so right now, Uponor or PEC system, you're looking to be right around 68. So the maximum will be set right around 68 PSI. But Denton has had people out here and they have checked hydrants, they've checked hose bibs, they've checked everything. And their explanation to me is, because I'm under the same impression that if I have 68, I should have 68 at all times. And they said, no, that's not the case. He said it is going to fluctuate greatly. So again, they're working on that. And again, your house is set up, should be right around that 65 to 68 mark on your PRV, which is going to be located in the irrigation box at the front of your house.
Thank you. We are dying for commercial things out here, restaurants, grocery stores, etc. Why are you not opening that commercial space? I could get 10 retail places out here in a year, no donut shops or nail salons.
Red, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the strip center right across from us in North Lake Crossing is due to have those, which are the ones that face north to us. The big building that's on the east side of the first commercial development is going to be a golf cart shop for sales and maintenance. The area, our area up there, it's kind of hard. We've done them in the communities in Arizona. We've put in commercial development, and it just, our bigger part of what we're waiting for is what's happening across from us. What's coming in there, what they're gonna offer, and then you have what's the Hunter Ranch, Rhett can correct me on the name, or Shelbi can.
Inspire.
Inspire, there we go, or Watermark. They changed it twice on us, I can't remember.
I think it's still Inspire. It could be Watermark. I could be wrong.
Anyway, they have retail and commercial all along 35. So the last thing we want to do is build commercial that is going to be duplicated out there. So we're just going to be on the holding pattern to make sure it's what's right for us in the community.
Awesome. Thanks, Gabe.
Yes, sir.
All right. Rhett, would you consider having a 1 or 2 15-minute parking spots in the golf cart circle at the Cimarron for HOA business? Like picking up, dropping off HOA permits, taking care of quick HOA business, be similar to the 15-minute parking spots at the CATC.
Yeah, this is something I would consider. I mean, that roundabout is packed all the time, and so there might be some concern. But I mean, I think possibly one spot as a 15-minute spot could work out. But you know, as parking is a concern at all of our amenities up here, especially during the times that get the most high use. So I'll definitely consider that.
Is there a way to clean up the HOA message board? There are very old messages, especially on the classified section.
Yeah, we can definitely look into that. We clean those up here at the HOA office, so we'll look into that for sure.
And going back to the restroom between 9 South and 1 North, what was the thought of putting a restroom in since we don't have a south to north rotation?
Well, that's why we don't have a south to north rotation, is only because there's no restroom, there's no stopping off point. The decision to do that was based on a lot of homeowner feedback and the developer's decision to commit the money and the funds to build that restroom. So this is a developer-driven project, developer funded. Your HOA funds do not go, your dues do not go to build this. We will own, manage, and maintain it once it is complete. But it does allow us some flexibility to go south to north. It will allow people to use the restroom. And, you know, the calls that I get per week because someone's relieving themselves on the golf course should hopefully that it will mitigate that too.
All right, bocce courts. Will they be finished with crust, oyster shell, or concrete?
Will be concrete covered in turf, artificial turf.
You mentioned section 28.2, and I can see that now on the ropes and lot map online, up in the northwest corner of the ranch, where bazanite and theralite would come together. Can you give us a sense of the next 2 to 3 areas that are being prepped, dirt moved, roads being roughed up, etc.? Where roughly are the next sections of houses going to be?
Are you want me to go?
The next section over there is going to go to the west of that, which will be unit 30, which we're hoping to break ground this year on that. It'll be between 28.2 and Florence Road.
Okay. Then where are you going after that, Charlie? You going close to unit 40 with something, or?
Going back to unit 40, east of unit 40 or unit 38.
Great. Do you have an estimate of, or know how many home lots are in each of those respective units?
Yes, I think unit 30 has 67. And I believe unit 38 over on the east side is 54, I think.
Great. Thank you, Charlie.
Do we have a status on the dog park restroom?
No status on the dog park restroom right now. That is land that still needs to be transferred to the HOA, so they're moving it through the city. I have kind of reconnected with a contractor that we chosen to do that work about 3 years ago. So we have kind of restarted, but there is no timeline for that. There's some, that land is a part of a bigger plat that needs to be separated in order for us to be able to the HOA to put a restroom on that area. That will be an HOA funded project. All right, I have Mr. Ken has his hand up. Ken, you're live with us. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask whatever question you'd like. Oh, it's Shelby. I thought we had three. All right, Ken, if you wanted to talk and you just were away from your computer, feel free to come there again. I got one more to talk. Hey, James, you're with us live on Catching Up with Rhett and Shelby, or Shelby and Rhett. I'm sorry, Shelby, don't get mad. Can you unmute and you can join us live if you'd like.
I think I've unmuted.
Yes, sir.
I live on the third lot right off Ed Robson on Drinkwater, and it looks like what the land that they're moving across from us has a street coming right into my driveway. It is what it is. It's your land. I just wanted to know, is the street actually going to come into Drinkwater there? There's an opening down further, but looks like they're cutting another street.
There is going to be two streets that come in there. One of them is about 140 foot from Ed Rosen Boulevard, and the other one is down. Both those streets go north off of Drinkwater. You are correct.
Okay, thank you.
And if
Thank
you'd
you,
like,
James.
you
Thanks
can
for joining
email, yeah, you can email Rhett, and we can stop by your house on a Monday along with the residents of lot 73 who spoke earlier. We're happy to do that.
Okay, great.
Thanks, James. All right. What else we got? What is Robeson Crossing? So Robeson Crossing is a road that runs basically, for all effective purposes, east to west across the property. It's dirt right now. It's not completed. If you take Michelle Way, where it dead ends, if you head north on Michelle Way, it will dead end of what future Ed Robeson Crossing will be. That road will be a pretty good thoroughfare that will connect Ed Robeson Boulevard to Florence. And so that will happen in the future. Florence, there will be another gate over in that area as well. Just that's in the future. And as we discussed earlier, that gate might be open for use 3 to 6 years plus, I think is what Gabe said.
Going back to the restrooms, why isn't the dog park restroom being handled like the new restroom on the golf course, built by the developer, then turned over to the HOA?
Because it was approved during the capital request project for the 2022 budget cycle. We got all the way through that, and it was funds that the HOA determined that we had available to have that restroom down there. So it's just went through a different approval process, and the HOA has the funds to pay it, still has the funds to pay it for it, and will when that land is transferred.
Do we have an estimated completion of the bocce courts?
The contract says June, but I would estimate completion by September or October.
Oh, yeah.
I got head nods from the gallery on the bottom, so I think we're good. We're apprehensive to give dates, but that's as close as we can get right now. Remember, Charlie's down there and he does work for the developer, but the bocce courts as well as the restroom are covered by our commercial construction department, and it's kind of in Charlie's wheelhouse, but out of his purview.
It is not uncommon to see non-residents driving golf carts on the sidewalks, especially moving from south north back to the pro shop west course, putting walkers and joggers in a danger. Can we get signs or more obvious signs saying it's prohibited?
Is this joggers out up north is what it is? Driving golf carts on side.
Like on, I guess, the sidewalks coming back up to the pro shop.
Well, there are the sidewalks on the, what is it? The west side of Michelle Way and the west side of Ed Robeson Boulevard are large enough for golf carts, and golf carts are allowed to drive on those west sides of those two main thoroughfares. The other ones, they're not allowed to. I can look and see if we need to add some signs on those east sides of those roads, and then basically all other walking paths, sidewalks throughout the community.
Michelle Way traffic from entrance on is well above posted speeds. Can patrol increase frequency to monitor and slow vehicles?
Yes, for sure. Well, that is one of our main monitoring spots, but doesn't mean we can't monitor more. So I'll just send a reminder to our patrol team to increase our monitoring that area.
Will our exit at Ed Robeson be repainted to address which lane to go straight across onto Cleveland Gibbs? Right now, we only have a left turn and right turn, and we've observed have been crossing from both lanes.
Yeah, I mean, technically that southbound lane isn't really open yet. So, I mean, when people are going across, I mean, to me, I mean, yes, we'll eventually, as that road opens up, we will kind of adjust what you see out of our main entrance.
Going back to that commercial lot, you have been here 25 years. You could have your pick of retail shops and not wait for Hillwood or Harvest.
And let me just speak real quick. The decision to add commercial space up at the front is not a decision of any of the three lovely gentlemen who just determined to join us today. That's a corporate decision made by the owners of the company and their other VPs at the corporate office. So I know Gabe shares his decision or his ideas with the corporate office, and sometimes they match up and sometimes they don't, as we all do with that. But it has been the decision of our corporate leadership to not add any commercial space there at this time.
Going back to the front gate, the left and right turn, which one should they use if they do cross over to Cleveland Gibbs?
I would use the one on the left is what I would use right now, because that is, I think eventually you'll probably use the one on the right because that'll match up better with the southbound lane. But I think what you'll see is, I mean, it's two lanes there. So really we could have two straight and two turn lanes. That's just a whole lot of discussions need to be had. We need to see that road finished, what that stoplight looks like, how we line up for that. But I would just, until we get a light up there, I'd just proceed with caution.
With the new administration's focus on increased deportations and a significant portion of construction workers in Texas and here at Robeson being Hispanic, are we concerned we may experience a workforce shortage for construction projects moving forward?
No.
We've had no issues whatsoever. Everybody shows up to work and is happy, so. Oh.
Related to parking, more and more cars are parking in the golf cart parking near the bar and pro shop circle, causing great congestion and danger as there are cars move through there. Can we put a visible sign clearly stating no cars?
We might be able to put a sign, but all the signs in the world, Charlie has a huge sign that says construction access, don't enter. I mean, the sign, people either don't see or don't pay attention to those signs. So just enforcement with patrol, I think would be better. Sign, everywhere's a sign. I think there was a song about that. But I think some better enforcement from our patrol and other people can help. I don't know if a sign's going to help people that are breaking the rules.
Is there a street sweeper for the new development areas that are used weekly? The mud is horrible after a rainstorm from the construction.
We do sweep the streets every Friday morning. If it does rain sometime between Monday and Friday, all the trades are supposed to clean their own mess up. We do monitor that and enforce it. The streets are swept The main thoroughfares and around the construction areas are swept once a week.
Are there any plans for more golf holes? It's getting very hard to get a tee time out here.
I think that's the biggest misconception, is that it's hard to get a tee time. Yes, it's going to be hard to get a tee time in what we call the prime time, 7 to 11. But our golf course has tee times available all throughout the afternoons that people can golf. Right now, this year, I mean, last year, a busy course is about 65 to 70% of all tee times being used. Our course is using a little bit less than 55% of the available tee times. So while it is going to be hard to get out there during those prime time hours, and you're going to have to use those days, it's a lot of times it's not hard to get out there after 12:30 or 1 o'clock. Many of our other properties that have similar homes in a similar size will have a waiting list of 40 people after the day is over to get on the course, and that's busy. So right now, our golf course does between 65 and 67,000 rounds. To really get to where a 27-hole golf course would be busy, you'd be looking at about 80,000 rounds. So we're falling short of really being busy, but eventually there will be another 9-hole course. The gentleman below me will probably say maybe 10 years from now that we have another 9 holes to golf on. But it's predicated on home sales and as the development goes on.
Are there any plans to clean out the pond on Drinkwater? It's full of trees, branches, and debris.
We know the HOA will take on the owning, manage, and maintenance of that pond on Drinkwater, but right now and throughout the summer and throughout the remainder of the year, there are no plans to do any cleaning of that pond on Drinkwater. We need to allow that area to develop. There's a lot of cleanup, a lot of construction going on in that area. It was just turned over to the HOA about 3 weeks ago. So we want to see the trees and everything reestablished. Assess the area, and then we'll address that.
And going back to golf, this person said they got a tee time Friday at 1:58 for 4 people, no problem, using the Chelsea online reservation system.
Awesome. So I encourage you all, if you can't golf in the morning, find an afternoon time. You can find those a lot of times, and that will help the success of our golf course. But
great time of year too. We came into the ranch after dark last week, and the front gate looks great. Wonderful job on that.
awesome.
Thank you.
Charlie coordinated that project. Thank you so much, Charlie, for that. And Charlie didn't, I want to help. Charlie didn't start our entry monument. He came in, and we call him the fixer-upper. He comes in and just cleans it up. So he had another guy who had started that, and Charlie came in and whipped that job into shape and got it done. So we're glad Charlie's with us.
Can something be done to make the right turn pull-in lane from Robeson Road to go over the bridge at the main gate more visible, especially at night?
Yeah, I can see if we can add some more reflectors to that area to make it more visible at night. Shelby, do we have a speakeasy night tonight or something like that?
We do. We've got a Mardi Gras themed speakeasy night. So you have to find the location. It's somewhere in the clubhouse, and that's going to be at 4 o'clock. So lots of fun, small plates, drink features they're going to have for you. They're excited. They're getting it all decorated and ready right now.
Great. Awesome. That was a lot of good questions, a lot of good information from our 3 gentlemen that were so gracious to join us. And here comes some more.
Can something be done to encourage visitors, especially work, to use the second entrance to Ed Robeson and not cross over on the bridge?
I mean, to me, that's going to be an impossibility. We can put second entrance for trucks and things like that. Again, we could add a sign up there, but the sign's not going to help. People are just going to ignore that sign and go over the bridge. I don't think there's going to be anything to prevent people who are guests or visitors from going over that bridge. There, I have another one. John's looking like he wants to join us. Hey, John, if you'll unmute yourself.
Yeah, hey, real quick. Sorry, my voice is out, but the Robeson Road where it dead ends right now, is that going to be extended? Is that the 3 to 6 years, or is that a different area?
You're talking about Ed Robeson Boulevard?
Yeah, at Drinkwater right now, you got the big, Charlie's got his sign up right there. So is that going to be extended?
Yes, it will be extended. Charlie, how much or how far are you going to extend that in this extension?
That's getting extended about 2,000 feet. It's gonna go to Robeson Crossing, but won't, I mean, there won't be access to Robeson Crossing.
Perfect, thanks.
All right, and Rhett, can we get more reflectors for Michelle Way entrance for eastbound traffic?
Yeah, I can mention that to our maintenance team, and we'll see if we can get that added as well.
Can the turf be repaired where there was recent French drain repair in the common ground on Grosbeak near Pepperidge?
Yeah, we'll look at that. I mean, we added those French drains. Of course, all grass is dormant right now, so it's going to take, if they've got turf on there, I would think that turf, I know that turf is going to smooth out over our next mowing sessions after we get through this scalp when grass starts growing. But I'll mention that to our common area team led by Renee, and have Renee go check it out. And if we need to smooth it out or what needs to be done, we'll check that out.
All HOAs are doing a great job and are much appreciated. Even Rhett. Just kidding, Rhett's doing super.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate that.
We paid him. Just kidding. And have you had any talk of possible right turn lane onto Orangewood from Robeson Road? More traffic is on the right lane westbound due to the ridge left turners these days.
Yeah, there's been some comments about it, but that's something that's kind of out of the HOA's purview. That gets into Denton and ownership of things that are kind of out of the HOA. So right now we hear about it, but that's something that I wouldn't see your HOA undertaking adding that. That would come from development and cooperation with the city. I know Charlie does, and I've been asked to join some monthly meetings with the city, so it's something that we can bring up in those meetings, and we'd be happy to discuss that.
All right, that was a great one. We have lots of good questions.
Awesome. Well, thank you all. I think we're up to about 180 people at our top with the join, so that's a great session. We appreciate everyone for joining us on this session of Catching Up with Shelbi and Rhett. I'd like to thank Gabe, John, and Charlie for joining us and taking the time out of their busy day. If you need anything, always reach out to Shelbi or me. We're happy to help. We're happy to serve you. As for the fellows below, thank you for what you do to develop our community and keep it growing. Without the growth, we wouldn't have such a strong HOA and such a strong community. So thank you for what you all do every day. Until next time, we'll see you around the ranch. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.